Hello, Tim from Fairplay now on the 22nd of September 2023. So I've got to admit, I did have a cruel thought this morning, a very cruel thought. I try not to have them, but I guess I'm only human and they do pop into my mind. So more on that in a minute. But before I get into it, I just want to give a final call for the latest London shopping trip, as I call them, the Worldwide Rally for Freedom in London tomorrow, Hyde Park, Speaker's Corner, 1 p.m. So that's tomorrow, obviously the 23rd of September. And if you're going to go, we'll see you there. Lorraine and I will be going, hopefully be up around there for about 12, half past 12, and looking forward to a good little wander around the streets of London. The weather's going to be reasonable as well, so really looking forward to that. And as I said a few videos back, there is one in Manchester as well, same time, 1 p.m. tomorrow. Piccadilly Gardens, I believe it was. I was having a look in the Telegram groups just now to see if there was any of the other cities like Birmingham and Glasgow, but haven't seen anything. And if you're in the area and you know where they normally start from in those cities, you might find it worthwhile just to go along and have a look, but I can't confirm anything. If I do find out, I might make a quick video later on today or tomorrow morning about that. But anyway, let's get into this cruel thought I had. Lorraine and I have been here, there and everywhere. We've basically had the last 2 weeks off, and instead of just going away for one big holiday, we've done a series of little trips. 1 night out, 2 nights out, 4 nights out. So we obviously had a couple of nights in Birmingham for the meetup we had last week, and then the last few days we've been down in the Pool area there in Dorset, and each time we've been going on the trains, and we made our way down there on the train a few days ago, spent 4 nights in a caravan. Very pleasant that was. A static caravan, sort of a bigger thing. And yes, just enjoyed a few, unfortunately rather wet days down in Dorset there, but still had a good time. But we came back to the station where we departed from down there in the Pool area, and we got on the train, and I was sitting there, and this guy came up to the train just before it departed. The train was still stopped in the station, but you know how the doors basically get locked about 30 seconds before the train pulls out of the station, so it doesn't matter how many times you press the little button on the door, it won't let you in. That's there as a safety feature, I guess. And the train didn't pull out of the station for a good probably 25 seconds after he first tried that door. He had enough time, this bloke, to go down to the next door and try the next one, and same story, he couldn't get on the train. So he must have literally been only about 5 or 10 seconds too late to get on the train. And the cruel thought was that I had in my head, basically the guy was muzzled up like that, and the thought I had was, well, if you hadn't have messed around putting that blimmin' silly thing on your face, which must have wasted probably 5, 10, 15 seconds, you might have made the train. So, and then the poor bloke, I've still got to feel sorry for him, even though he muzzled up. It was that particular station going to where this train was going. There's only 2 trains an hour, and the next one I saw was cancelled, so he would have had an hour's wait just for the sake of probably because he was putting on his mask and wasting a few seconds doing that. So yeah, a bit of a cruel thought, but it kind of also highlights the futility of donning that particular garment, and the absolute silliness of it. So anyway, obviously being off for the last 2 weeks, I've been out of it a fair bit, haven't really been paying too much attention or any peripheral attention to what's been going on in the freedom world. I am a bit behind. I'm behind on editing videos. I've still got quite a few of the Uprise and Shine ones to do. As I get back on it and into it, that'll be happening now on a more regular basis, and I'll be announcing hopefully a speaker every other day kind of thing as I get round to finishing those videos off, and more videos from me and more sort of reporting on things that are going on. So I've got a bit of a backlog of things, headlines I want to comment on that I've seen over the last few days, and this one goes back a couple of days now. Sunak, of course, announced that the ban on petrol and diesel cars will be delayed until 2035. I think that was supposed to come in 2030, that awful date by which time they want to have us all in digital prisons, of course. So he announced, as you might remember, a couple of days ago, that has now been delayed until 2035. But the point I'd like to make is whenever these people like Sunak and all of these other merchants say things like, oh, the plans have been delayed, the plans have been postponed, the plans have been shelved. When they say that sort of thing, you can read basically that they've been abandoned and that they will never happen. They're just trying to save face by, oh yeah, it's only been delayed for a little while, it will happen. No, it won't. And the reason why it won't happen is because Sunak, even the likes of him, have seen the amount of pushback, huge pushback going on against all of these things, these New World Order things like banning cars, banning meat, making people eat insects, 15-minute cities, ULEZ, and all of the other nonsense. So even the likes of him are seeing the amount of pushback and thinking, oh, hang on a minute, maybe we should sort of be sort of reeling back on this a little bit, sort of calming down on this a little bit. So I take that as a good little bit of news there. Let's just, this is big story over the last couple of days, and boy oh boy does this stink to high heaven. So the whole Russell Brand thing, he's been accused of whatever he's been accused of, and apparently there's been letters written by someone to the various platforms, such as this platform, others like Rumble and etc., saying that they should be demonetizing Russell Brand, getting him off their platforms, etc. Well, it turns out that these letters have come from Tory MP Carolyn Dinenage, or however you pronounce her name. And first of all, she's instrumental in this online harms sort of bill that's just gone through, which is going to be, really, it's an anti-freedom of speech law, which I think it has to be repealed, and repealed sooner rather than later, or as soon as possible, even though it's only become law. It's an absolute travesty of freedom, and apparently this woman is one of the key players behind that law. But the plot thickens because apparently her husband was deputy commander of the 77th Brigade, which is the army unit which many people suspect or even know has been spying on its own citizens, doing their own, perfectly lawful activities of talking about the truth online on platforms like this, and in sort of things like Telegram and Rumble, etc. And you get these people who sort of monitor that and even sort of make comments on people's sort of videos and things like that, and on their posts, designed to demoralise them, I suppose. Not that that really works, but that is what the 77th Brigade is all about, apparently. So what are the chances that you've got this woman, this MP, who was instrumental in the this awful draconian anti-freedom of speech bill that's just been kind of brought into law. She's behind that, and she's also calling out, saying that Russell Brand should be deplatformed, demonetised, even though there's no proof, no evidence, no conviction that he's done anything wrong. So this woman's clearly all about guilty until proven innocent, rather than the other way around. And her husband's a member of that mob. So, why can't people see the corruption in this kind of thing? And this isn't like it's an isolated incident either. This kind of thing just happens all the time. All of these conflicts of interest, it's just mind-boggling. And then people sort of call me for sort of just seeing this stuff and calling it out. Oh, you're just a crazy conspiracy theorist. Really? Well, look at these sort of facts, and then sort of then tell me I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist, because I don't think so. I think there's something out there, or a lot of things out there, that just stink to high heaven, quite honestly. So I thought I'd just finish on a couple of slightly more light-hearted things. Actually, before I do that, another bit of news that Lorraine told me about is apparently Biden has just announced $600 million for lurgy testing kits, and the site where people can get them from, obviously American people, is going to be reopened. So what's that going to do? You're going to have these test kits, which I presume are either going to be free to Americans or heavily subsidised, and the people are going to go out and get them, and then the number of cases, the cases are rising on this and that, and then they're going to use that as an excuse for whatever they've got planned for the winter. So it's just it's such an obvious psyop. How people can't see through that, I just do not know. But it looks like Biden is up to the old tricks yet again. But that's just another bit of news. But let's just finish with a couple of slightly light-hearted things. There's a lady called Bethany Trissy. Not sure how her name's pronounced, but she's posted on Telegram. I'm just going to have to use a few code words on this one. So this is quoting her. Seen the triple pote come down with the lurgy, and then immediately jump online to inform the world how grateful they were for their thing that rhymes with roosters, because they are certain it could have been so much worse, is quite frankly the most amazing display of human stupidity I have ever witnessed. It really is, isn't it? Yeah, that old line, it would have been so much worse if I hadn't had those things. Yeah, righto. Honestly, like the lady says, the most amazing display of human stupidity, that one, isn't it? And let's finish with something even more light-hearted. I came across this. This is the home lurgy test. So, going back to the Biden thing, you don't need to get his test. This is one you can do at home. So Step one with this test is you pour a large glass of red wine and try to smell it, right? Number two, if you can smell the wine, drink it and see if you can taste it. If you can smell and taste it, this confirms that you do not have the lurgy. Last night I did the test 19 times and all were negative, thank heavens. Tonight I'm going to test again because this morning I woke up with a headache and I feel like I'm coming down with something. I'm so nervous. So yeah, it sounds like a kind of test I could get into myself, quite honestly, but I don't think I'd do it that amount of times. Right, so I'm going to leave it there, and if you're going to London tomorrow, Hyde Park, Speaker's Corner, 1 p.m, I'll see you there. If not, I'm going to come back with a bit of footage from that either tomorrow evening or maybe Sunday. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the stills camera and just take a load of still pictures of various people and placards and all of that kind of thing, and I'm going to stitch those together and with a bit of background sound from the march. Something I've done before, and I quite like the power of stills in these things, that they seem to have like a there's something about them which is more powerful, I think, than video. So I'm going to do it that way around tomorrow, so look out for that video, like I say, either later tomorrow night or maybe sometime Sunday. So if you're going tomorrow, see you there. If not, back soon. Tim from Fair Play Now, thanks for watching.